Hi, we're here to talk about this whole Naomi and Sasha Banks situation. So let's just get into it. So on Monday Night Raw, Sasha Banks and Naomi, apparently what happened was they were having a meeting with Vince McMahon. Things didn't necessarily go the way that they wanted, so then they placed the tag team titles on the desk and they left the arena. And this was apparently after the main event, which was supposed to be Sasha Banks versus Naomi versus Becky Lynch versus Asuka versus Nikki Ash and Doudrop in a fatal six-way for a chance to face Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. Apparently, Sasha and Naomi didn't like the plans, and so they left the arena. They left the building, girl. So a lot has come out since Monday. Like, there's been a lot of reports about everyone backstage is side-eyeing Naomi and Sasha. WWE, they were dragging, what's his name? Corey Graves was dragging Naomi and Sasha on commentary, talking about they unprofessionally left the building, which people, you girls need to calm down, okay? Corey Graves does what he's told to do. He's an employee at the end of the day, okay? And he's trying to get Employee of the Month, okay? Yeah, then you've got, I don't even know, child. It's just this whole situation is a mess, like a mess. I mean, apparently everyone backstage like disagrees with them, and they're saying that Sasha Banks is a diva, that she manipulated Naomi, because apparently this is normal for Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, she's what apparently, like, people know her for throwing temper tantrums, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think she stands up for herself, but because there's so many sheep working in WWE that just do what they're told to do by their shepherd, Vince McMahon, what she does is obviously out of character for them in their eyes. But Naomi, she does what she's told to do. Everybody knows that. If Vince McMahon told her to get on the ground and lick the floor like a dog, she's gonna do that, because she's always put the company first before herself and her own emotional and mental well-being. So I think, honestly, apparently this was like a build-up. Like, it was a build-up before they just put the titles down and they just left, because it's weird for them to just like be like, oh, I don't like the main event. So, and they were both supposed to get title opportunities. Like, apparently Naomi was supposed to pin Sasha Banks and face Bianca at Hell in a Cell, but she was supposed to lose. And then Sasha Banks was apparently supposed to have a title match with Ronda Rousey at Hell in a Cell, but she was also going to lose. So obviously they're thinking like, if we both lose, what happens to our tag titles? Because at the end of the day, they're just putting over the singles champions, aren't they? And then what is going to happen at the end of the day with them? And apparently WWE had no plans for the tag team titles. I mean, there's no tag teams. I've been saying since day one to burn the tag team titles, and that tag team titles were literally were a mess. And look what it's done. Look what those titles have done. WWE, I told you years ago, and you decided not to listen to me, and now look what you got done. Ciao, anyways. Now this whole situation, I honestly don't know what to say about the situation. I understand Sasha and Naomi wanting to just, say no and just stand up for themselves and just, just leave. But at the end of the day, I think it's not really the most professional thing, because look now, Sasha Banks, because Sasha Banks in the past, remember, like, back in the day, people used to say, oh, she's difficult. I mean, the whole thing with Alexa Bliss, then Paige, and then she was beefing with Vince McMahon. Then apparently Nia Jax had to like rough her around in the ring because she was doing a lot. Sasha Banks, she has like this reputation for being difficult, which I don't really agree with. Like, I have never gotten that vibe, but I feel like she's just passionate. But maybe that just comes across, a bit, I don't know. So I agree with them standing up for themselves and standing up for the tag team titles and wanting better for the women's tag team division and the women's division in general. But them leaving, like, if you look at the headlines. It's just Sasha Banks, she's a diva, she's this and that. Sasha Banks and Naomi, they've left, and then apparently everyone backstage, no one agrees with what they did. And then you got Vince McMahon and Corey Graves and commentary talking shit. It's not a good look for anyone involved. Like, probably now people are going to be like, Sasha Banks, like, you can't even do your contracts over here at WWE, so why should we hire you if you're going to act out if you don't like something we do over here? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a good look for anyone, but I understand why they do it. I just wish they went about it differently. But how would they have went about it to say no? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And then also I feel bad for Nikki A.s.h and Dewdrop, because they were supposed to be in the main event and have this spot. But, you know, Sasha Banks and Naomi were apparently trying to have a title match against them for the tag team titles. But then they decided to say no. Well, WWE said no. And so Sasha and Naomi decided to walk out instead. But, you know, at the end of the day, Dewdrop and Nikki A.s.h, they're not going to get the tag team title match, and they're also not in the main event anymore. So now they've literally got nothing. Like, I feel bad for those two. Sasha and Naomi, girl, I don't know. Like, this is just a situation where I genuinely don't know what they can do. I don't think they'll be fired. I mean, but honestly, if they do get fired, would I be surprised? Because, you know, WWE, they've been on a firing spree. You know, all these people you don't expect to get fired, just, girl, they get fired. So I wouldn't be surprised. And Sasha, she has so many things going on that I think obviously she'll miss WWE and she'll miss wrestling because it's literally her passion, but she has so many potential things that she can go and do. But I feel like, you know, now that she's done this, are people gonna want to work with her like that? Because she's being perceived as difficult, and you see the way that, I don't know, because WWE is a huge company. Like, if you look at all the people reporting this, you have The Sun, E! News, the Metro, like all these big, you know, WWE is international, it's worldwide. Like, people can say, oh, WWE needs Sasha. Well, WWE, obviously they need Sasha. Sasha's immensely talented, but if Sasha was to leave, I'm sure that they could fill her spot easily. I mean, WWE have access to the world's talent. Like, literally, they could go to any country and grab anyone they want and then do what they want with them. Like, Sasha, obviously she'll be missed, and she is women's wrestling. She is a part of the women's wrestling evolution, but WWE don't necessarily need her. Like, WWE don't necessarily need anyone. Like, they don't need John Cena, they don't need Undertaker, they don't need Roman Reigns, they don't need Sasha Banks, they don't need Charlotte Flair, they don't need Ronda. Like, they don't need anyone because they can go and grab anyone they want, including celebrities. Like, we've seen what they've done with what's the Spanish man, Bad Bunny, him, Logan Paul. Like, they don't need necessarily anyone, girl. But I don't know, hopefully. And then Naomi, she wants to go off and have a child soon, but she always says she wants to have that one feud before she goes away. I don't know, honestly. I just hope that they sort this out and they come to a understanding and a common ground, you know? Like, everyone on the social media is always like on one side or the other, but with me, I can see both sides. Well, I don't understand WWE for not wanting to push the tag team division and make the tag team titles, you know, actually prestigious, because they're the most worthless titles next to the 24/7 title in WWE. But, like, I think Sasha and Naomi were in the right, but the way that they went about it, that's where I necessarily don't fully agree with. Yeah. So those are my wishy-washy thoughts. I don't know. Put in the comments what you think, because, girl, I'm confused and I don't know what to say. I don't know. Anyways, bye.